A castle built in the orange groves, a live TV launch, and then a park that just defined family fun. This is Disneyland. I'm Matt Haswin, and I'm a high school history teacher, and I'm taking you line by line through Billy Joel's We Didn't Start the Fire. We started with Davy Crockett, Peter Pan, Elvis Presley, Disneyland. Here we go. So let's get into the story. When Billy Joel says Disneyland, he's pointing at the mid-1950s moment when television and advertising and post-war prosperity built a new kind of American playground. So you start with the idea here, right? Walt Disney wanted a theme park, not a noisy midway. Instead of just like random rides, it would be story worlds that you could walk through. You know, a small town Main Street, a frontier river, a land of pirates and fairy tales, and just a peek at the future. To fund it, Disney made a deal with ABC. The Disneyland TV series in 1954 would promote the park, and ABC would invest in it. Television wasn't just selling tickets, it was building the myth in real time. Well, opening day was July 17th, 1955 in Anaheim. A nationwide live telecast called Dateline Disneyland was hosted by Art Linkletter, Bob Cummings, and Ronald Reagan, and they carried the opening ceremonies into living rooms across the country. The day itself was chaotic. There were counterfeit tickets that swelled the crowd. There was a plumbing strike that meant some of the water fountains were dry, and the fresh asphalt softened in that California heat. Some of the rides experienced some breakdowns. Newspapers dubbed it Black Sunday, but the public opening the next day began a long, steady surge, right? Families poured in, and the park quickly corrected the failure in the operations that the first day had exposed. What made it different from older amusement parks was the coherence of the park. Main Street USA set a nostalgic tone. Frontier-style riverboats circled an island. Fantasy-style dark rides let kids meet storybook scenes, and this tomorrow-style plaza promised an optimistic future of technology. The park presented a curated America, sentimental past on one side, a shiny future on the other. But it's all safe, it's clean, and it's orchestrated. Then came the innovation loop. New attractions arrived that changed the industry language. The Matterhorn bobsleds. It was a modern steel track roller coaster. There was a monorail that was added as a working transport ride. There was a submarine voyage that turned engineering into this new spectacle. Ticket books evolved into the slang of the era, e-ticket for the biggest thrills. And behind the scenes, Imagineers treated attractions like theater mixed with engineering, and it standardized the idea of show quality for theme parks worldwide. If you zoom out and you see why it's in the song, right? It's the same years the interstate era and the suburbs were reshaping daily life. Disneyland became the weekend destination. Drive-to leisure, spotless streets, lines organized by crowd science, and storytelling powered by television. It was also a template for corporate synergy, shows, toys, tie-ins, and a park feeding each other in a loop that later media companies would copy. Of course, it's also a mirror. The park's early lands reflected the 1950s worldview, patriotic nostalgia, frontier myth, techno-optimism, ideas that later generations re-examine and sometimes revise. But as a cultural fact, Disneyland is where modern themed entertainment crystallized. When we come back to the lyric, well, in one word, Billy Joel captures the moment when television and car culture turned family entertainment into a destination and a business model. Disneyland is the 1950s packaged as a place. Why does it matter? Well, Disneyland explains how media plus design can shape public memory. It set the global standard for themed spaces. It trained audiences to expect story-driven experiences and showed corporations how to turn IP into places people visit. So I hope you enjoyed the explanation here of Disneyland and We Didn't Start the Fire. We'll make our way into the next line in this particular verse, and after Disneyland, we'll go to Bardo. So I appreciate you watching. If you could throw me a like, a follow, a share, that'd be great. And we'll keep churning these things out. Thanks for watching.